From Java, Indonesia, we're flying back to India, to Kochi in the southern state of Kerala. We're greeted at the airport by a huge stuffed elephant in full regalia. Our first stop is St. Francis Church. Built in 1503, it's the oldest European church in India. Vasco da Gama died in Kochi in 1524 on his third voyage to India. He was originally buried here, but his remains were removed to Lisbon in 1538. The Dutch captured Kochi in 1663 and all the Catholic churches were destroyed, except for this one, which they converted to a Protestant church. In 1795, the British captured Kochi and allowed the Dutch to continue to use the church, but in 1804, it was converted to an Anglican church. Kochi was an important spice trading center from the 14th century on. We stopped by the beach at Fort Cochin to look at these unusual contraptions. They're Chinese fishing nets. So called because they were introduced by Chinese explorers who visited here in the 14th century. One interpretation of the city's name is Cochin, meaning like China. The horizontal nets are 60 feet or more across. Large stones act as counterweights. The net is raised by pulling on ropes, aided by the counterweights. The result is a few fish, if the birds don't get them first. We try our hand at it, but it'll be a long day to get enough fish to pay for our room tonight. We're greeted at the Brunton Boatyards, our hotel, by Mohiniyattam dancers, a classical form that developed here in Kerala. In the morning, we're headed south to Aleppi for a boating excursion on the Karelia backwaters. We board our boat and make our way into a network of brackish lagoons and lakes lying parallel to the Arabian Sea coast. With the interconnecting canals, the system encompasses over 560 miles of waterways. The network consists of 5 large lakes fed by 38 rivers and extends half the length of the state of Kerala. The waterways facilitate cargo movement and backwater tourism. There are boats like the one we're in that are popular for day trips. And there are houseboats with 2 or 3 bedrooms and a staff of boatmen and cooks. Birds are plentiful along the shore and feeding on the fish in the water. We stop at the Gomentha Church, a Syro-Malabar Catholic church. It traces its origins to the evangelical activity of St. Thomas the Apostle in the 1st century. The rituals are not at all like Roman Catholic traditions, but borrow from Jewish, Hindu, and Buddhist symbology and ritual. As we see here in the lotus umbrella over this saint of the church, we are welcomed into a traditional backwater home. Built of teak, it's over 100 years old. This is a foot-operated pump, a necessity in an area prone to flooding. At our lunch stop, we're greeted by drummers with traditional chendas. While we refresh ourselves with fresh coconut water, we watch our afternoon's entertainment, getting his makeup. Lunch is a traditional Karelian wedding feast, served on a banana leaf and meant to be eaten local style, with your fingers. Kathakali is a traditional performance art that evolved in Kerala. The elaborate costumes and makeup take hours to apply. The performers share the open-air stage with a drummer to set the mood and tempo, and a singer who delivers all the lines and sets the context by the inflection of his voice.
Round and round.
The actors speak in a sign language, using their hand motions and facial and eye movements.
Wonder, adbhutam. Condemned. Has.
Our highly abridged play is about a virtuous king who falls in love with a beautiful maiden. But all is not as it appears. The king finally realizes the truth. The beautiful maiden reveals herself as a demoness. The king draws his sword and kills her. And once again, good triumphs over evil. Then back on the boat for the ride back to Aleppo, and then the bus ride back to Cochin. We have a little more sightseeing this afternoon at the Monticelli Palace, built by the Portuguese around 1555 and renovated by the Dutch in 1663. It's locally known as the Dutch Palace. The glory of the palace are the 48 Hindu murals dating back to the 16th century. Nearby is the Paradisi Synagogue. It was built in 1568. The floor of the synagogue is covered by 18th century Chinese hand-painted porcelain tiles. We wrap up the day with a little shopping. In the morning, it's back to the airport for the trip to the next jewel of the Indian Ocean.